Happy Memorial Day, y'all. We're out in the sugar shack. Mr. Buddy's in there resting. It's hot outside. I'm going to do pork burgers and a little side for our Memorial Day supper. So while that's in there, kind of sitting, calling my name in a couple of hours, I decided to come out to the sugar shack in some AC, and we're going to do some blackberry jam. These are blackberries from our bushes this year. So we're going to go through the recipe, and I'm going to make this with you. But you see the electric canner? That is a Presto Precise 12-quart electric canner. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to do a small series each day, 3 to 5 minute video explaining the electric canner. Some of you have questions. Hopefully I can answer them because there's some little tricks to it. And I think it's because the manual isn't as clear as it should be. But guys, I stand behind this Presto Precise electric canner. So we're going to do a short series going through the canner and some of the little hiccups that some of you may be having. Hopefully I can answer them. But on to today's video. In this pot, and I'm going to drop you, and yes, I hadn't got my new tripod. So I think I fixed it to where you won't fall down. But this is very important, what I'm about to show you, because these were actually frozen. No water. I just rinsed them, patted them dry, and put them in quart size freezer bags. And I ended up with 4 quarts, which yielded me 10 cups, okay? But what's different from blackberry jam to say some other, like we did plum jelly? This is totally different, guys, okay? This is easy peasy, no pectin, because blackberries have high pectin. So you really only need 3 ingredients. Your blackberries, sugar, and lemon juice. And that's it. Anyone can do this. But I'm going to show you what I did a couple of hours ago. You ready? You're going in the pot. Well, kind of in the pot. Okay, in this pot is my blackberries. I do have about 10 to 15 strawberries in here because I just threw them in there with my blackberries when I froze them. Let me show you. See that strawberry? It's not going to hurt anything. But the easiest math to remember is whichever part berries you have, meaning I have 10 cups of berries, I used 5 cups of sugar. So if you're using 6 cups of berries, you're going to use 3 cups of sugar. So your sugar will be half the volume of your berries. Now, if you like it a little bit more sweeter, you can add more sugar. But remember, this has a natural pectin. So that's all I've done is put the sugar on here about 3 hours ago. These were frozen. And I've just kind of let the sugar sit. And you can actually do this the night before and set this in your icebox refrigerator and let all the juices come together. But it's not necessary. It'll speed it up some. So, easy peasy. 5 cups of berries, if you had it, would be 2.5 cups of sugar. See? So now, here's our lemon juice. For the volume I'm making, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And you want to put it in at the start. One, it's going to allow for some liquid. And then as these berries cook, you're thinking, well, that's going to be sour. That's actually going to balance the sugar, and it's also going to stabilize the berries because we will be water bathing this. So I'm just going to stir this around. We're going to get it onto the stove and start cooking. Now, this is going to cook at least a half hour. No kidding. And you can use an immersion blender. I'm going to use this. You can use a potato masher, whatever, because we're going to be mashing these berries. Now, if you don't want seeds in your berries, you're going to have to use a mill. You're going to have to strain it and end up with blackberry jelly. I'm wanting the blackberry jam because it's very versatile to use in other recipes, but it will yield some seeds. All right, we're going to the stove. Get this going. I've got my jar sitting in my electric canner. I don't have it on. They're washed, but I will be turning it on to warm my jars up because the jars have to be hot because we're going in with hot ingredients. Remember, cold to cold, or room temperature to room temperature, hot to hot. You need those jars at the same temperature as the product that is going in. That applies to any canning. I'm gonna start off about a 9, close to high, because I want to get some heat going. And with this, you're gonna be stirring quite often. But at the front end, it really won't be that necessary once some heat gets on here, because remember, these were frozen, so it's gonna come up with a little bit of liquid. But I wanna start it off on high because I need to get this at a boil, and then we're gonna reduce our heat. We are almost at that boil, and you look at the liquid, guys. So as soon as it comes up to a good boil, I will be turning it down medium to low, probably about a number 4. And you're gonna stir this periodically. And we need these berries to cook down a minimum of 30 minutes. But I'll keep bringing you back, showing you what you're looking for. Okay, you see we're at that boil. I'm gonna go down to about a number 4. And we're gonna let these cook. In about 15 minutes, I'm gonna start mashing. I've let mine go 45 minutes. I reduced it by half. It leaves the original ring when we started it. When it reduces by half, I pulled it. And I'm not sure how much it's gonna yield, but I am using, these are hot. I've got 2 jelly jars out of my Presto electric canner because it's warming. I've got 3 more in there. Now I'm using various size jars, but they're still gonna water bath for 10 minutes. If you're using a stovetop water bath, it's still 10 minutes. That's because I'm not using this as a jam for spread. You can, but I'm actually using this for cobblers, for pies, things like that. So I really wanted mine to be very thick. And as you can see, and I'll bring the camera closer, it's extremely thick. It's exactly where I want it. It smells amazing. I can smell the sugar in it. Oh, and y'all look at this hot mat that Miss Betty made for me and sent. Miss Betty, thank you. I absolutely love it. And your personal gift for Mr. Buddy is greatly appreciated. We love you, Miss Betty. Okay, here it goes. I want y'all to, ooh, mercy. I just don't want to get any blackberry on my beautiful hot mat. Now, you could debubble because it's thick, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to tap it because it's fine. Now I have a pint jar because this is going to be shared with my daughter, and they are a family of 5. But now you could do them all in jelly jars. But like I told you, I'm going to do different size jars. Okay, I've got a jelly jar. Ooh, that's hot. And then what I call this is a jelly jar and a half size. And I've got a full pint and about 3/4 of a pint. And I've got jelly on me, or jam. Let me get this off because I'm fixing to clean the top of these jars. But had you used just jelly jars, you'd have yielded about 7. But like I said, I've got some large ones for my daughter. This will cool down and go into the refrigerator for our use. And then I have 2 to go on the shelf. And I am going to clean the rim of this jar very well. And even though this is going in the fridge, I'm still going to put a lid on it. But you see how easy this is? 3 ingredients. Now, you don't have to let yours go as long as I did. But I love that thick jam consistency. And I mean, if y'all look at that, ooh, it's hot. I'm going to turn it sideways since this is the one I'm using. And you see how thick it is wanting to come out of that jar? That's what we're looking for. You just want finger tight, 10 minutes in the water bath. And I want you to look at that beautiful blackberry jam. Here's the jar. Once it cools down, because I did go ahead and water bath it, then I will set it on into the fridge tomorrow for us to enjoy. I had a ball with y'all here in the Sugar Shack. I enjoyed making the blackberry jam with y'all. You see how easy it is and why it was processing and cooling down. I went in, I made the pork burgers. We had grilled onions, melted pepper jack cheese with a little bit of mustard as our sauce, some sun chips, which wasn't too bad. It was my first time to have sun chips. I believe Mr. Buddy's had them in the past, and we had a wedge pickle. Phenomenal Memorial Day supper. But I hope yours is going good. And remember, we are together today for the sacrifices these men and women made for us to have the freedom that we have. And I'm blessed to have the freedom to spend today, or a little while today, with my friends. And those friends are you guys. And I greatly appreciate it. So as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.